down on that side of your face.
Hello, y'all. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hello.
Hello.
I don't see y'all. Let's see.
Hi.
There we are. Okay. All right. Hello, hello. From Carrie Hose. Yeah, okay. So how many people are here? Oh, hey, Gay. So y'all know I am a poor substitute for Carrie. And I think Patsy kind of feels the same way.
Absolutely.
We are poor substitutes for Carrie, but we'll see. We'll muddle through.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not sure we know what all we're supposed to be
Yeah,
doing
but
here.
we'll see. So everybody, so we have Miles, Jennifer, Gay. I think Warren is actually Carrie, me, Patsy's with me, and I guess this is Heather, right? Heather?
Yes, I'm from the JW Marriott, New Orleans. Good afternoon.
Right. Okay. All right. So Carrie did send an agenda. Did y'all see the agenda? I need
Would
to
you print that for me so I can?
Oh, Patsy's asking. me
Yes,
to
I
print
printed
it.
that copy out.
I need to hold it.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
So
flipping around.
Have a copy.
I need to. So Warren, can you share this? I don't seem to have sharing privileges. Warren, are you there?
I am, but you should be able to share. It says all participants are set up to share.
All right.
so
well,
She didn't leave
not-
anything for me to be able to share.
Oh,
So
share screen. Okay, great. I got it.
there you go.
Can y'all see that?
We can.
You can see it, huh?
Good.
Okay, so I think Carrie wanted us to talk about the two meals that we have to provide. So we all know that the educator luncheon is going to be an added cost to registration. By the way, who remembers how much? I know we're charging students $100. Who remembers how much we're charging for regular member registration? I couldn't find it. I was looking for it. Does anybody remember?
I wanted to say it was like 240. I can find it really fast.
That's
I
what
think I have it
number
here.
sticks in my mind as well. I'm sure it's buried somewhere in the minutes that
Yeah,
are
I have it in
posted.
my office. I don't have it with me.
Okay. I think it's,
It's 200 something, that's all.
I think it was 240. Anyway,
Okay.
I have it right here. It's 240 for regular, 260 for late. And then for non-member, it's 260 regular, 280 for late. Student member is 100, 120 for late. Student
Okay.
non-member, 120 for regular, 140 for late.
okay.
And
So,
then, yeah,
okay, great. Thank you, Miles. That's helpful.
problem.
So I'm gonna pull up the menus that, Heather, these are the menus that we were sent, right? And
That's
you know,
correct.
we've
I
been
had
looking
sent
at-
her, I'm sorry, I had sent her the catering menu a while back, and she had proposed, when I sent her those two estimated quotes, originally for the educator lunch, she had proposed a lunch buffet, but it looks
Yeah.
at last night with her agenda she sent over, she wants to do a plated instead. So
Right. And so we,
Sent
y'all,
for
can
that.
y'all see the plated luncheon? Can y'all see this? Let me do this. I mean, the menus. Where is it, Patsy?
You gotta stop that share and start another share.
Okay, hold on. See, you know, I haven't been
There
doing
you gotta do it.
here. And where is the menu? I had it pulled
Mm-hmm.
up, didn't I? Okay, just a minute, y'all. I thought I had pulled it up, but now I don't see it. Hold on. I told y'all I'd be a poor substitute. Okay. Here is, why don't I see it? Where's the share? Where's the share button? Oh, here. This is it. Okay, here. Can y'all see that now?
Yeah.
Plated luncheons, can you see that?
Yes.
All right, so the least expensive plated lunch, and by the way, it says all entrees come with a 3-course meal with a choice of soup or salad, the entree, dessert, rolls, iced tea, and coffee. So the least expensive ones are the 2 chicken options. There's a blackened chicken breast or a fried breast. And then there's also this pork 2 ways, which is a little bit more expensive, but I thought, I mean, we were
We were-
thinking maybe do the pork for the educators luncheon, because that's going to be an added,
And that's a lot less people.
and it's
An
fewer
extra 3,
people.
Yeah. it's-
And then we can we kind of thought the blackened chicken breast. Are people sending me chats or something?
What's all that noise?
I don't know what's all that noise. So comments.
I think those 2 sound good. The pork for the educator and the blackened chicken for the awards.
I agree.
Okay.
Agree.
So now y'all know that $48 does not include 25% gratuity and 10% tax. And Heather, I was reading the contracts and all, or the whatever is attached to the the catering menu, and then the 10% tax is on top of that 20%, 25% of the total cost. So the $48 chicken lunch comes to $66 per guest, and then the pork comes to, I guess, close to $70
yeah.
a guest. But we're going to charge the educators for the lunch, so we don't have to worry about that in terms of the budget. But anyway, those are the 2 choices that we're looking at. Does anybody want to comment on that?
Hey, Angela, it's Melanie. Do we charge the educators the full price of the lunch?
Yes, we do.
That
Whatever
seems
it costs, we charge.
awful high for lunch.
I agree, but you know what? It is what it
think you
is.
do.
And I mean, we've paid as much as $50 or $55 for lunches.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe 60. They're never cheap, at a hotel lunch.
Okay.
These are the prices we have to deal with, unless Heather wants to give us some price breaks.
I don't remember the educators' lunches being that high, to attend an educator meeting.
Okay, so what do y'all want to do about it?
I mean, I was thinking that at our previous meetings, that was just a loss we took.
Oh, we won't be able to afford to do that, I don't think. I mean, I'm not the financial person for the meeting, but I mean, we can discuss it, and see. We have, our food and beverage minimum is $37,000, right? So the total cost for the awards luncheon at $60 a head, is that right? Or $66
$66.
a head is what? We figured it out.
It's on your paper.
It's like $23,000, $23,100. And then at $66 for the educators luncheon, it comes out to be $3,000.
$70.
Oh,
It's going to end up $70.
Oh, right, because it costs $3 more. So
Yeah,
70
$70.
times 60 is another 4,200. So you add those 2 together, and we're now at, what are we at, Patsy? 28,000? Come on, tell me.
What is it?
70 times 60 is 4,200. So you
okay.
add 4,200 to this, that's
To 23?
to 23,000.
Yeah, 27.
We're at 2,700.
27,000.
I mean, 27,000. And, but I mean, we can discuss whether,
Gay, if we take a loss, I mean, we could see when it gets closer to we're gonna have to know that at the registration though. I mean, if we took a $20 loss on 60 people, that's $1,200.
It's $1,200. I mean, we can discuss that. I don't know that we're necessarily here to
Make that
figure
decision.
that out
Oh,
and
right,
make that
no.
decision.
No,
Yeah,
that's,
we don't have to
that's
decide that
fine.
today.
That's
Because we
fine.
can't get the lunch cheaper than $70. So that, I mean, how we pay for it's kind of beside
Yeah.
that could be done at a later time. Yeah, let Carrie handle that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other thing that we have to talk about for, that we've got to provide food for the guests that we're not, that's supposed to come out of their registration fees is that exhibitors cocktail. We can't,
Did we record this?
I don't know if it's, Warren, are
Yes.
you,
He did.
Good.
okay.
Okay.
So for the exhibitors, the catering menu has choices for that kind of reception kind of, event. And you can either, have y'all looked at this? Because Carrie sent it to all of us, right? So, it's either per piece. And like Patsy says, Angela, if you do 4 or 5 different things, everybody's gonna
get one of
gonna
everything.
get one of everything at least,
would.
if not more, so Carrie
So
is
s-
estimating.
So just so you're aware, just how we estimate on our side for you all to
Uh-huh.
make a decision is usually we say 1.5 piece per person, right? When you're thinking about how much to offer and how much the average person will eat. Yes, some people will, if you have 5, some people will eat all 5. But the average is 1.5 piece per person when you're thinking that. And if it's not meant to be a dinner, then, that's another thing that's in your favor.
It's
Right.
not.
It's at 4:30, so.
It's
yeah,
4:30 to 6:30, I believe, right, y'all?
something like that.
So, I
Well,
don't,
They know how to estimate it, so. that's
yeah, I don't know that we need to make this decision right now, but just financially wise, we said 27,000, a little bit
fine.
over
Yes,
27,000,
and
we
we're
have to
committed for another
spend
10,000.
at least another 10,000. That would be very easy to do.
Very
at
easy.
Between this reception and then if we decide we want to offer coffee in the morning or, which I don't know. Have y'all considered that? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I think we did discuss the coffee on the last call and we definitely need coffee.
We
Yeah.
need coffee. huh?
I
Yes,
think
we
we
did
need
say
coffee.
coffee, definitely.
I don't want to
So
put a wrench in
there are,
anybody's plan,
go ahead.
Ms. Angela, but you're saying 37,000 and I just want to be sure when that rebooking occurred. I do recall, and I can't pull up the contract because of the way the computer is right now. But I believe that I recall seeing 50,000 on there. Originally it was 37 and I could be wrong, but I can't pull it up right now because of the way that you have to screen.
Carrie has continually said 37,000.
Okay, and I may be wrong. So I just want to
Let me ask you this too, Heather.
Yes,
Does
ma'am.
that 37,000 include what we spend for gratuity and tax?
No, ma'am. That amount is, and it's in the contract. It'll say does not include taxes and gratuities. So you'll have to figure that 10 and that 25% on top of those numbers.
Okay, all right. So even if y'all, it stays at 37,000, we still have quite a bit
50,000.
more to spend. Or maybe, is that right?
Maybe
and
that's
you
where I
can't-
was getting, I thought I remembered seeing 50.
Well, if you add,
somewhere.
if you put tax and 25% and 10% on top of
Of 37,000.
37,000, maybe
That's
that's
what
where
it
the
comes
Maybe that,
50,000
yeah, maybe that's what I was looking at.
I think it's
Okay, so y'all,
Yes, 50,000.
yeah, 50,000. So that's where that comes from. So, we still have a lot of money we have to, I don't think it's, we have to spend just to meet our minimum.
That's gonna be easy.
So let me go back to the agenda. So is everybody in favor of at least picking the chicken and the pork? Are we good with that?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. And then in terms of, deciding what to do for the reception, I don't know that we need to do that right now. I think Carrie just wanted everybody to kind of get an idea of what these events were going to cost and then how that worked into the budget, right? So,
I have a question for Heather.
yeah.
Heather, what would it look like typically that someone would do for a reception for 400 people? According to your options.
Yeah, it's so, like I said, because this is not supposed to serve the purpose as a dinner, sometimes people will have maybe a station of, let's just say, gumbo, right? Because it's a hot, hearty type of item, and it's more of like a filler. And then you would probably have about 5, maybe 6 selections of hors d'oeuvres that can either be passed or stationed, just depending on what your liking is for, your guests better than you. But I would definitely say at least 1 stationed item that is more of a filler, and then 5 to 6 of those hors d'oeuvres, because again, it's not meant to be a dinner.
And we wouldn't be ordering 400 of every other option.
No, ma'am. No,
You
ma'am.
would just,
Not unless you want to feed the homeless. No.
no.
So
No.
what would you think would
What
be a
would be a
reasonable amount to spend for 400
400
people?
people, that's what we need.
So that's where I was going with that 1.5 piece per person. So if you say that you're gonna have 400 guests there and you want at least 1.5 piece per person, you can order, again, 5 or 6 different options, but then we'd have to do the calculation to get to that, what is that? Like 600 pieces, 650 if you want to play it a little safe, but I wouldn't really go any more than that. And then you could still have 5 or 6 variety of items, within those 600 or so pieces.
Okay.
So would that end up like for
Okay.
400 people be about $6,000? Am I doing this right?
I am not the mathematician, so I don't want to say that to you. I think the highest price hors d'oeuvre that we have, I believe, is $9 a piece. So let's just say if you did the 9 times, let's just say you did 600, just because it's easy math there. That's 5,400, correct?
Mhm.
And then if you add 1 filler, like I said, the gumbo on per person, I don't know off the top of my head what it is. It might be $6 or $7 a person. Again, for that, I would probably go in the neighborhood of about 300, just to be on the safe side for that. And you're looking at another, what is that for?
12, you mean,
7
did you
times the
just say?
300, that's another like
Yeah.
maybe 2,100, so.
right.
Mhm.
So you're up to about 7,000 or 8,000. Now that doesn't include tax and gratuity, but that
drinks.
doesn't,
Or any beverages, I mean, I don't know
or
what you're doing.
beverages. So that's
Mhm,
another
mhm.
thing that we need to, yeah, that would be about $8,000
With no drinks.
with no drinks.
I think
So-
we're gonna
Right.
have to have a bar.
And
have a
again,
quick
in
question.
the past, you might want to look at, I would assume that you did this or an event similar to this in the past.
Mhm. Yes.
So I would look at maybe what you served then, how well did that work out for, your guests, your attendance? And again, like I'm saying, you don't want to be skimpy, right? You want a good showing, especially if people, are paying to come to the event, but at the same token, it's not meant to be dinner, so you have that in your corner.
Angela,
yes.
would you go back to that, to the menu thing where it showed like it was like a New Orleans something. It had like mini po' boys and stuff like that. I had a
Yeah.
question about that section.
Okay, let me do my new share. Why don't I see the share?
Really quick, I have a question for you guys. We're talking about the 3 meals, the exhibitor, the awards, and the educator, but there are a lot of other meals and stuff that are on the program. Are we taking those into consideration?
What other
like-
meal?
Tuesday, it says food box lunch provided.
That's for the students.
Right, but
That's
I
the
mean,
next
that would count towards,
That's the last thing on the agenda.
okay,
Yeah, you're right. That really is probably only other paid meal that we do.
okay. And
So
I
the
was-
ones that are going to be included in registration would be the awards luncheon and then the box lunch for the students.
Okay,
Then the reception,
Yeah.
the exhibitors reception. And then, of course, the educators luncheon, that will be a paid event. You have to pay to go to that. And I mean, we can read, if the numbers work out, okay, I guess we could charge a little less and then, have that money come out. We don't want to go in the hole on the meeting. It's nice if we can make a little bit of money on the meeting, but anyway, we'll see. But you're right, we still have the box lunch for the students to talk about as well. So here
Okay.
is the menu that Gay you asked for. What did
Yeah.
you want to say?
Go down, I think.
Go down?
Packages. How they had the packages.
Yeah, they did have, where was that? I remember.
Mhm.
Display
is.
stations.
There.
Oh,
Mhm.
There.
fried po' boys, oh, that sounds
So,
good. That's
Heather,
I
how
like-
are those usually set up?
Wait, I missed it. Where is that?
So
I
if
was
you look
trying
at
to
that New Orleans
Uh,
station, the first one at the top, the New Orleans station at $28 per guest. So basically that is a station. So the chef will create many po' boys, right? That'll be staged. They'll have some that are made and they'll be underneath heat. And then you'll have a chef actually making some to replenish as they go. The crawfish beignets, those will be fried prior to, because it's a fried item. And then those will be placed under heat as well. And the chicken and andouille jambalaya, that will be placed in a Schaefer dish. And that would be self-serve for the guests there.
But y'all set all that up at one station?
So it's not done at just one particular station. We can break that up. I just had this one recently for a group that came in and we did the po' boys and we did the crawfish beignets together, just on a really long, type of station. And then we did the chicken andouille jambalaya separately, since that was more of a self-serve item.
Okay, but something like that would be something that we would pick, maybe 200 of those.
No, it's $28 per guest. So if you have
Yeah, so
400.
that is $28 per guest. So if you set that out, right? You would, and let's just say that you base it off of 200 guests. That's how chef is going to prepare for 200 guests. And when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. All right, explain
400,
the,
that's $18,000.
So, I know that y'all probably been to these receptions too. It's kind of like first come, first serve. And when you snooze, you lose. So a lot of times if you don't get there right in the beginning, I mean, sometimes the food will run out, and you know what, when it runs out, it runs out. I mean, that's a decision we have to make, on the committee about, how we want to do that. So what?
but my question on that really was, when you set up a station like that, that's one of the things you don't, if you're expecting 400 people, you don't pick 400 of that one.
Those, yeah.
No, not unless you have a really hefty budget.
No, that's what I'm saying. You would pick-
And yes, it's, if you pick that and you had 400 guests, our chef is going to ensure that you have, again, it's 1.5 piece per person, right? So he's not going to make 400 po' boys, 400 beignets, and 400 servings of the jambalaya, right? Because
Gotcha.
it's based on 1.5 piece or portion per guest, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'm getting it in my head. Yeah, I know we don't want to do 400 of anything.
Yeah, no.
No, that's not what they're gonna do. They're gonna do 1.5, mix
Yeah.
and match of these things, right?
Mhm. Yes,
And that's $28 times however number you guarantee.
Yeah, so if you picked 100 of those, and then you pick
You don't pick
100 of something cheaper and 100 of something else. But I'm not stuck on that. I've just had a question about how they did it.
But that's not how you do it. If you do this as a package, then you tell them this is the package we want. I don't know, Heather, you help us out with this.
no, so for this one right here, this is actually just a display station. Could say, okay, say if you wanted to guarantee 100 of the New Orleans station, right? You could do that. And then you could add on other hand-passed hors d'oeuvres. You know, you could say, okay, I want 200 of the blackened shrimp skewer, and I want 100 of the brie and fig mascarpone, whatever that one item is.
Okay,
That it's not a problem. But just know that when you choose this type of I mean, it would probably get hit very hard, and it'd probably be gone in the blink of an eye. Especially only guaranteed it for 100 people. I'm not steering you away from this, but I think you're going to get a bigger bang for your buck if you would go more towards the item of having the hand passed hors d'oeuvres and then adding, like I'm saying, one item in of, you know, I use gumbo, but you can do the jambalaya, you know, I think you'll get a bigger bang for your buck going that way than trying to piecemeal with this many of this New Orleans station, this many, that's me personally.
And whenever we're having the stations and the passing, then we also are hiring servers, correct?
Our staff comes with that. The only thing that you are charged extra for would be the bartenders. So for having the bartenders at the events, there are bartender fees that are associated with serving the alcohol, but not the servers for these stations. The only
Okay.
time the server gets charged for a station is if you happen to choose a carving station where you literally have to have someone there doing it for you.
Okay.
the bartenders, by the way, they
$2.25.
recommend one bartender per 100 guests. That's required, it's not recommended, it says required. Can y'all see this? And
Yeah.
they're $225 each plus tax. Is that plus tax and gratuity, Heather?
It's just tax on that.
Okay. Okay, so
In the past for the bars, have y'all done an open bar for your guests, or have y'all just done it to where you offered beer and wine only?
you know, we've done
only need
tickets
2
where, you know,
tickets?
you get
Yep.
everybody one
Yep.
ticket and they could
Yep.
get one drink. But I mean, I don't know that we'll be able to afford even to do that. It may just be a cash bar. Right, y'all? I don't know. What do you think?
I think everybody's gonna pass through the exhibit section and then hit Bourbon Street.
That's what I think, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, I guess before you make a decision on the whole bar aspect, probably get a better handle on the pricing for the 2 lunches that you're choosing, as well as the boxed lunch, and whatever
Right.
you try to do for the reception, just to kind of see what kind of money you are dealing with. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I don't know what you've done in the past for the educator lunch. But there is an option, and I wrote this note here to talk to Kerry about, was you can do the cold salad with a protein option. That would be a little bit less money. I don't know how you all feel about that, what you've done in the past, but it will be a little bit cheaper option than going to the plated, you know, hot entree options that we have.
I mean, when you say cheaper, what, $5 or $10 cheaper?
Yeah, so most of the cold salad protein options would range anywhere from like 41, I believe, to 45.
as opposed to
45,
48.
48.
Or
Uh-huh.
the least expensive hot lunch is 48 to 51. So you're only talking about a few dollars, really.
Yeah, I just
mean,
wanted to just throw that
Yeah,
out.
yeah, no, I get it.
Wasn't
I mean,
us.
that might-
Personally, I would rather pay for, I don't know, but a meal, a real meal rather than a salad.
Okay.
But that's me, but we can talk about that. And then the last thing are the box lunches, right? And where are those on this menu? Well, we also kind of look at coffee. I just
Those
want y'all to
should
be
be right here,
here.
one back.
One back.
Yeah,
box
right
lunch.
there. So with the box
So
lunch,
look,
you get to choose three of the protein options from the Sandwich Festival menu. And then it comes with the options of having the chips, the fruit, cookies or brownie. And then it comes with soft drink and water.
okay, so that's $45 a piece. That doesn't include tax and gratuity. So, sorry, y'all. So that's another chunk, of money that we're gonna be, we always say whatever we charge the students for registration usually doesn't fully cover, the cost of having them there. But we want them there, right? And they do the student vote for us. So, but they're gonna get a lunch at the awards luncheon. That's gonna be included in their $100. And that right there is really costing us 60 something dollars, and then they get the box lunch. So anyway, just need to be aware that that's another. Now, does this include a drink? Yeah, it includes assorted drinks, right? And water, right? Heather?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what, I don't really think Carrie expected us to make any decisions. I just think she wanted us to look at all the options and be aware of what the costs were going to be,
That's
towards-
correct, Angela. I texted her and she just wants y'all to have discussion about it.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Lauren. So,
Since I'm with, just real quick, since I'm with the vendor thing, I'm thinking, like I said, folks are gonna be passing through it. And as you said earlier, when it's gone, it's gone. Because we're gonna need to put more money toward those students than the vendor thing.
wait, say this again?
I'm just saying that when you're doling out your money, count up how many students you have, plus those other 2 meals, and then
Yeah.
whatever our commitments left, we'll put toward the vendor thing.
If it's $45.
Toward the vendor, wait, I'm sorry, Patsy's talking in my ear too. Say it again, Gay, one more time, I'm sorry.
And I was just saying, since we have a minimum to meet, once you total up how much money you're gonna be spending on the educator lunch, the awards lunch, and the box lunch, then whatever money is left that we're committed to spend, then, we'll just divide that up for the vendor thing.
That'll kind of,
Mhm.
that will be what we'll spend on the vendors, the exhibitors. What reception, whatever you want to call it, the vendor reception, right? That will determine how much we spend pretty much on the vendor reception, right? And I mean, I don't know, we may end up going over a little bit if we think that we don't have enough to at least make it look, nice and decent. So,
When does your
Yeah.
registration typically open for this event?
I'm sorry, Heather, what did you say?
When does the registration for this event typically
Open.
open?
Jennifer.
It
tell
won't
us.
be until probably after the first of the year. Because the event's not until April, so
April.
after the first of the year.
So do you, I know, this year and 2020 has been much different than previous years, but do you still anticipate that 350 to 400 number? Do you think you're going to capture that?
Yes.
I do. What do y'all think?
I think so.
Only because it's in New Orleans.
Because it's.
If we're not in New Orleans, I would say you might get 200.
I was
You
just gonna
mean
let you guys
200
know.
including students or 200?
No, I'm just joking. I mean, like, because it's in New Orleans, yes, I think we'll get 400. If it were not in New Orleans, I think we would only
Yeah.
get 200
I
total.
mean, I have to tell you, the willingness of speakers to come and
Yeah.
do presentations or sessions
good,
has
yeah.
been phenomenal. You know, we may even, if we have enough attendees, that we'll have enough people. Yeah, we need to talk about rooms, but is that what you just said?
Yeah.
You know, right now we have 3 sessions scheduled for every slot. Starting on Wednesday afternoon, right, until Friday noon. But I mean, we might want to consider having 4 sessions at a time. The problem is you don't want to have, you know, sessions where you hardly have anybody there. But I mean, if the attendance is good enough, we probably have enough speakers that, you know, we could have as many as 4 sessions going at the same time. So,
Heather, how many rooms, like breakout rooms for talks, do we have reserved?
In here, you have, let me see. I put this on here. Let me see if I can find that for you. Hold on.
While she's looking real quick, I did some quick math for you guys. If you're interested, I totaled up the educator luncheon at that $51 a plate, the awards luncheon at the $48 a plate, with on the agenda here with the projected numbers, the exhibitor welcome, if you did that $28 package that she showed with the po' boys and what have you, plus the box lunches, that comes out to $40,060.
it comes up to what?
$40,060. So I don't think you guys are going to have any problem meeting your minimum.
Oh,
that's not
no,
even
Carrie
including-
has said that. No, that's not, we know that.
Okay.
And that's
Of
not
course,
touching the
By
morning
the time
coffee
you add
either.
tax and tip
Yeah.
on top of that, or gratuity, it'll be over 50,000, which is
Yeah.
what Heather said our commitment is. No, we know we won't have any
Okay.
trouble meeting.
Right.
But we
just
don't
letting
wanna
you know
go
that's where that number
Over
sits.
that, because that's gonna eat into your profits if there is any.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe if we're looking at it this way, if we're sitting at 40,000, we need to figure out the rest of it and then divide your projected number of full registrants. What is that full total going to come out to every single registrant?
Why? Because you want to adjust the registration fees?
You might need to. I'm not necessarily for the students, but for your full registrations. Because I mean, if you're already sitting at 40K,
Well,
You
and
know,
of
you
course,
divide
there
that by-
are other expenses, like we're paying, I know, over $3,000 for C-Vent,
right?
right, Jennifer?
I'm not sure how much it is, but it's a chunk of change.
We might also have a fee to, is her name Vicky, who negotiated the contract? I'm not sure about that either. So, I mean, there's a lot of costs
Yeah.
involved in, you know, putting on a meeting. Anyway, Heather, did you find the room plan?
Yeah, so the way that it's allocated right now is there's, yeah, there's, you have quite a few, yeah, I got it. You have quite a few breakout rooms, but without understanding the entire program, I don't know what's gonna be used for what. I know that we
Well,
have,
that Ile-de-France one, or France, however you say it, that's
yes,
gonna
ma'am.
be where the exhibitors are.
Yeah,
So
so I
that won't be
have,
available.
yeah, so that's what I have here. I have exhibitors that are in the Ile-de-France, but I have the MLS Student Bowl breakout. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's quite a few all set up in theater. And again, I don't know what Carrie's vision is in using any of that. We didn't get that far.
We'll use all of
We'll
them.
use all of them.
Okay.
So there's 6 rooms that are gonna be available for Student Bowl, is that right?
We'll use all of
That's,
them.
yeah, what I'm seeing in here, there's quite a few. And then we have
What
some
about like on
breakout
Wednesday
rooms
for the breakout
that
room?
they
Yeah, so
aren't
the Student
labeled.
Bowl will be, go ahead.
I'm sorry, they're not labeled as anything, but we have some 8th floor meeting rooms that are breakout spaces as well. But again, it just says breakout. It doesn't give me whether or not it's the MLS Student Bowl. It just
No.
says,
So that'll be finished by Wednesday.
Yeah, the Student Bowl finishes on Wednesday morning.
okay,
So the only other thing we need those, some of those rooms on the A floor, I think, is for the MS, what is it? Mississippi, ASCLS Mississippi's award luncheon.
Right.
Is gonna
We
be
were
up there.
dividing up the awards. Mississippi and Louisiana, we're gonna have separate awards.
okay.
Yeah.
So like I said, when I'm looking, when I look at this grid, it's very difficult to say what they're being allocated for because we haven't got that far into the program details yet. I just know you pretty much have the entire hotel.
Okay, so there
breakout
would
room in
be
here.
6 rooms available for breakout sessions when we start them, if we needed them, right?
Yes,
Okay,
Okay,
so that's
all we
good.
need.
That's all we
That's good.
needed to know, because we
okay.
may want to add a 4th session in some of those time slots, you know, if
Yeah.
we have
And I-
enough people.
Yeah, and I just think it's gonna depend on how many people are gonna be in the sessions because right now
Right,
she does have some of the meeting spaces combined as one breakout room. So again, just not,
so what is the average number of people that are one breakout room can hold if theater
there,
seats?
it's not, I could not even give that to you, Miss Angela. I would not even want to do that because they're so different and diverse.
They're different. Okay.
Yeah, no, they don't all have the same footprint. There's 2 rooms down on the 3rd floor main meeting space other than our ballroom space that are our largest rooms, which are Mirepoix and Conde Frontenac combined. And those right now we have set up as theater for 75 with whatever AV is going to be chosen to put in the room. Those are
75 total or 75 in each one?
75 in each one.
That's
Okay.
good. That's good.
But can those then be broken down into even smaller rooms?
Those 2 particular ones cannot be, but we do have
Okay, all
ones
right.
that can be.
Can they be joined for one?
Conde Frontenac is going to be joined as one, and then you also have one other one, Orleans, Rosalie, that is going to be joined as one as well.
Okay, but you can't do.
So again,
okay.
as I said, on that floor, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 breakout rooms, but the way that it's allocated in my system right now, of the 6, 2 of them are joined together. So then that really leaves you with 4 breakout spaces, if that is
Okay,
making.
that's good. That's
That-
good.
That's
That'll work.
good. That'll work.
Some of the sessions might need a big room.
Yeah. So,
And again, once you guys start outlining your agenda on, maybe this session has, more sign up than another one, then we can start playing with that and see where to
right,
allocate it, to.
right.
But yeah, so that's what I have on the main 3rd floor meeting space. You'll have those 6 breakout rooms, but technically they're 4 because 2 of them are combined together. Then you have IDF ballroom, which is split with exhibits and registration area and exhibit overflow. And then I believe one of your luncheons is in IDF 2 and 3 as well.
Oh, that IDF is Ile-de-France. I was wondering.
Yes, ma'am.
IDF,
I'm
IDF,
sorry. I'm sorry.
IDF.
I'm
I
using
got it. No, I got it. Okay, yeah.
acronyms.
All right. Well, I think we've pretty much covered the agenda that Carrie gave us. I mean, we've talked about everything. We haven't really made any decisions, but at least everybody's kind of aware of what things cost and, where we need to go from here. I mean, I think as we start getting registrants from the meeting and get a better feel of exactly how many people, although we got to make some decisions about whether or not we're going to change registration fees too. So, but we can't do that at this meeting,
No.
right?
No.
So.
Again,
Does
when
anyone-
Carrie gets back and after you all have had a chance to talk to her and she listens to the recorded session, she can get back to me and she can, give me an idea of what you all think you're going to do. And I can create cost estimates, just like I did with her for those other two events. So you have an idea of where you're falling as far as pricing is concerned. And then
Right.
you make your
So
decision.
Heather, for those events, like, let me see, I gotta share that. Wait, hold on, enable editing. I think one of these, stop share. And then new share screen, hold on. So can y'all see, this was one of the quotes. This one I understood. Can you see, can everybody see this? JW Marriott, New Orleans.
Yes.
So this one, this would be like for the educators luncheon, I believe, an estimate. The other one though, I didn't understand at all, Heather. I didn't
And I'm trying to
understand.
pull it back. I'm trying to pull it back up because for whatever reason, it doesn't want to let me enlarge this. Ugh.
This was the other one. Can you see this? So I didn't know where these figures came from at
So the
all.
one that has the, what was it, like $2,299 and some change or something like that?
No, I
It
don't
looks
see
like
it.
2,900.
Okay, all right. So that one I think originally was a lunch buffet for the 60 people. But again, we're
But I
not,
thought you said buffets were more expensive than plated dinners, and they are. So that's why I couldn't figure it out.
let me see.
When I look at the buffet costs, they're actually more expensive per person than the plated dinners.
I
And I
can't
mean,
pull
you
this up. It
explained
won't
that
let me get back
because
on it.
you can't control portions, right?
Right, you can't control portions unless you're willing to pay a server to stand there and serve each guest, which then you get, into higher pricing. What is this to?
Hey, Angela, on this
Yes.
quote that you just posted up, keep in mind that's for less people. The original quote
Yeah.
was for only 50 people, not 60.
And this is.
So
Right.
if you
we're doing
divide that
60.
total, it comes
Yeah.
out to
Okay.
$80 a person.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All
I
right, so
remember,
that's the
yeah.
difference. Okay, thank you, Miles. That
No
explains it.
problem. That's why I'm here.
So anyway, these would need to be
Mathematician.
bumped up again. So, yeah, all
Yeah.
right. I
So
was
that's
just-
what so this is what it would look like. If you came back, next week and you all said, okay, we want to go, right now, we want to do the pork for the educator and we want to do the blackened chicken for the larger one. I would create these individually, let you see what that looks like, dollar amount, and this will have all the taxes and the fees included on that. We could do the same thing for the bar as well. So once you all have, time to do a little powwow, when she gets that information back to me, I can turn a quote back around to her. And then that way you can play with your numbers. So you know what fees to put on, your registration site.
Okay. Okay. So when do we need to make a decision about food and beverage? I mean, we're early doing this, right?
It's very early, but if you are putting this information on your registration site, because individuals are going to have to pay a fee, then you know, I'm sure that's why she's having you do this exercise, is just to be sure that, I mean, at the end of the day, you want to make money, not lose money. But for us, we work about 30 days out. So as long as we have an idea of all the food that we're going to serve 30 days out, it gives a chef an idea of what he's going to be ordering, how many people we're going to be handling. And then you're locked in 7 business days prior to your guarantee numbers.
Right.
Is that also when you needed, are those also the deadlines for giving you numbers as far as number of people goes?
For the food and beverage, that 7 days, out, no, that is for chef to then know what he's doing. It's 10 business days prior that we need to have the event orders signed and approved by your team, sent back to us. It gives us a chance to review them on our end, and then we submit that to chef, and at 7 days out, he places his order.
Okay.
So you need our numbers 10 days
Yes.
prior to.
Did
the
that
event.
answer the question, Miles?
Yeah, you need the final tally numbers of number of attendees for each thing 10 days in advance.
That's correct.
So
Okay,
we would need to close registration, you know,
yeah,
at some point, 10 to 15 days out. Or charge a late registration fee, maybe, you know.
Oh,
know
we
that
do
that would
have a
help.
late registration
And on
fee. We
our
already
end,
have
chef will prepare 3% over whatever that guarantee number is. Obviously, to be on the safe side, because you will
The
have.
late registrants. Gotcha.
And then again, another thing to note is when you are sending your registration information out, it's really nice to include any dietary restrictions on there. So we can be prepared for any vegetarians, vegan, gluten-free people, and chef can accommodate those requests.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I
for
think
that.
Jennifer's
I thought
putting
about
that, right?
shellfish, but I didn't think about vegan.
Yeah.
Totally didn't. Didn't think of that. Carnivore here, you can tell.
Well, and gluten, people who have gluten allergies too, they always will let, you know, we need to make it available to them to have a gluten-free
Yeah.
option. So.
And Jennifer, we did discuss you putting that on the registration form, correct?
We did, but not, it was more for the social. I was, you know, with all the seafood, I was planning to
Yeah.
add it. I can add it easily to the social.
Yeah,
But-
so maybe just something,
Right, but I totally forgot about vegan.
yeah,
Vegetarian.
dietary restrictions.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, you just put dietary restrictions, and I think do you let them put what they are, or do you put a little check box? Is it gluten? Is it?
I mean, it
you
can really
know,
get out of hand, you know, so I think just a general,
Yeah, a
You let 'em write
checkbox
it
is
in.
probably a better option than letting them freehand and write all kind of stuff. It's usually
Yeah.
is your better route to go.
So the options would be gluten-free or vegan. Really,
Vegetarian.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Or vegetarian, yeah.
and we'll just stick with vegetarian. I mean, don't you think vegetarian instead of vegan? Because vegan is really super strict. I mean, what do y'all
And
think?
if they're that super strict, they're gonna make sure that.
Right, they've been around
Yeah.
the block before, if they're that strict, I think. Okay, so vegetarian, yeah, okay,
And gluten-free,
gluten-free.
those two. Yeah, okay, all right, y'all. I mean, I think we pretty much covered what Carrie wanted us to cover, right, Warren? Hello, Warren.
We put them
Warren
to
I'm
is-
here.
sleep.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, sure. She didn't tell me anything except start it, share it, and shut it down.
There you go. Okay, you've done your job well.
Good
Well,
husband,
she
good
can listen
husband.
to the recording
Yeah.
when she's trying to fall asleep tonight, and and she can see what we talked about. Okay.
Yeah, thank y'all.
sounds good.
Okay.
All right,
thank
thank
all
you,
of
everyone.